What's going on, guys? GoofyRhexxi here. Hope everybody is doing well. In today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about the top 10 free-to-play characters here for beginner players in Marvel Strike Force. Now, in regards to beginner players, my criteria that I use here is anyone from day 1 all the way up until you get to level 75. I consider it to be beginners. Once you get to the level 75 here, I consider you to be at the mid-game point because you can enter into Dark Dimension 3. So that's my criteria there. I do want to know what your guys' thoughts are on the list that I'm going to be going through here today in terms of the top 10 characters. Who would you add to the list? Who would you take off the list? How do you feel about my list? Who would you put on as honorable mentions? I want you guys to leave that down below here in the comments. Now, this list, we're not going to be going in any particular order here. So we're actually going to start off with a little bit. But before we do dive right on into it, if it is your first time coming to the channel here and you would like to see some more Marvel Strike Force content, then consider hitting that subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell so that you know when the videos do go live. Also hit that like button as well, because that definitely does help out the YouTube algorithm if you can do so. And then down below in the description, there's a few links. There's one to my Discord. There's also some other social media links as well where you can follow me as well. And then lastly, I did start a new YouTube channel a couple weeks ago here, which is focused on Marvel Comics, DC Comics, TV shows, and all that stuff as well, guys. So you'll see the link for that channel as well down below in the description. But, all right, the first character we're going to talk about here on this list is going to be Shang-Chi. I've talked about Shang-Chi quite a bit over the past couple of days, haven't I? But I definitely think that he's a top 10 free-to-play character for beginners here in Marvel Strike Force. Let's talk about first where you can get this character. So Shang-Chi is available in the Blitz store, so you can target farm him there in the Blitz store. Now, you can also get him later on. Once you get to level 75, there is the hard difficulty of the Heroes campaign, which is what this is right here, where you can farm him in that hard difficulty for Heroes at 3.9. But that's once later on once you get to level 75. Now, before that, Blitz store is where you're going to want to farm him. But I mean, great character, I think, very plug and play. I think you can use Shang-Chi in like your early arena stuff. You can use it for your Heroes campaign. You can use him for Alliance War. You can use him once you unlock that. You can use him for some raid content, like your Ultimates raids and things like that. There's a lot of value that you can get from this character. He also has the city tag. So once you get to Dark Dimension 3, which is you get access to once you get to level 75, you can then also use him in some of the city sections of any one of the Dark Dimensions 3 and the Dark Dimensions, DD3, DD4, DD5 as well. But love Shang-Chi. His kit ultimate ability does an insane amount of damage, 450% damage plus 75% additional damage per positive effect value there. That's his thing. He does a lot of damage. That's his thing right there. Special ability, I think provides some pretty good utility. So you're getting him to clear one negative effect from all other allies. And then also you get 10% healing to other allies as well. Of course, he's better with his Heroes for Hire team, so he will heal them at a higher clip for 50% of his max health. And then he'll clear all negative effects for other Heroes for Hire allies. But I still think that he's good enough to be able to provide you with solid value. Trust me, by using him as a beginner player here. So definitely Shang-Chi for me goes onto this list. All right, next on this list is going to be Hulk. So first, where you can find Hulk, you can find him in the achievement section. So if you're brand into the game, your achievement section is going to be on the left tab here. Once you start doing like daily activities and things like that, you're going to be accomplishing different goals, and then you'll start to be able to unlock shards for Hulk in the achievement section. But I definitely like Hulk ever since his rework, a few months ago, right? Being a part of the Gamma team now, I've liked Hulk since then. I think he does an insane amount of damage once he gets below that 50%, right? It's fun to watch him drop below 50%, filling that speed bar, and then gaining that offense up, and then going like a rage monster and doing a bunch of damage. I love that from Hulk. But being a part of the Gamma team, there's going to be there's early investment that you're going to be able to put into Hulk that is going to yield you some long-term value, right? Because the Gamma team is going to be a team that you're going to need for the Apocalypse unlock. So good to be able to unlock him and use him early now. But additionally, you can use them on the Wave 1 Avengers team as well. And I think Wave 1 Avengers are probably going to be one of the best. We're going to come back to being one of the recommended beginner teams in Marvel Strike Force as they were before. So I definitely do think that Hulk is worthy of being on this list as well for that particular reason. So definitely for me, the Wave 1 Avengers team, I should probably explain this a little bit more. You can also, there's going to be value that you can use with like some of the Scourge events. So primarily like your Red Hulk Scourge event, where you can use characters in some of the section where Avengers are needed, or if you can do some of the higher difficulties Then you can also use the Wave 1 Avengers for Node 5 and then also Node 10 as well, depending on whether or not you can do those higher difficulties. But I can think like once you get to level 7, you can put Gear Tier 13 on characters. So that may be something that you want to do as well, to maybe try difficulty 5. And that's, you can use Wave 1 Avengers there for Nodes 5 and in Node 10. So definitely on this list for me, as that's the reason why he is here. All right, next, we're going to talk about Hela. I love Hela. I think Hela's great. I think she's fantastic. I love the fact that she got a rework. I love that she's now relevant and being a part of the arena meta. But once again, let's talk about first where you can find her, right? So you can find Hela. And so once you get to level 70, you will gain access to the Villains Chapter 7 node. And then once you're able to work your way to get to 7.6, you'll be able to target farm Hela. Now, additionally, once you get to level 75, there is a hard difficulty of the Heroes campaign where you also can farm her there as well in Heroes Chapter 2-3, but you'll probably most likely get to Villains Chapter 7-6 a little bit early, before you do that. But I love her rework, man, and she's a part of the arena meta right now, so therefore she definitely has to be mentioned on this list for me. She's a part of the late game arena meta, so I believe that that also means that she can provide value for the earlier arena meta as well. I love her kit, like this ultimate here where she can attack all enemies for 350% damage. What I really love is spreading 4 negative effects on a primary target to all secondary targets. The reason why I like it is because she's the only character in the game that I know that can spread ability block. Like all other characters that can spread negative effects, usually they say exclude ability block, exclude stun. Like this says right here, this will not spread stun. But like nobody else can spread ability block. She can spread ability block, and that's why I love it. That's why I love this ultimate. On top of the fact too that she also does a pretty good decent amount of damage too, and they also boosted her focus for this attack too. 5,000% extra focus. Good job, guys. But then also it's Greg, right? Let's talk about, you can't talk about Hela without talking about Greg. Greg is amazing, does an insane amount of damage, 400% piercing, applying bleeds, works. I mean, him and Zombie Iron Man are amazing together. The second part of the Undying team here, damage. You know, whenever he dies, he reduces the enemy speed bar by 10%. So you can get to a point where the enemy can just continually target Greg's, and then you're just getting Terminator advantage. So I love Hela. I think she's great. With Zombie Iron Man, they're both pretty good in a bunch of different game modes too, like Alliance War, if you're gonna care about that. Cosmic Crucible as well. There's a really good value that you can get out of Hela, so she's definitely on this list as a top 10 free-to-play character. All right, let's talk about the next character here, and it's my guy Thor. I love Thor, I really do. Probably my favorite character. Probably not one of the better plug-and-play characters on this list from a free-to-play top 10 list, but I still have to put him on this list because of the Wave 1 Avengers. Once again, Wave 1 Avengers, I think, are one of the better beginner teams now. Recommended beginner teams for players in Marvel Strike Force. So I had to put Thor on here. But let's first start off with where you can grab Thor. So Thor is available in the Heroes Chapter 7-3 campaign. Once again, for both your Heroes Chapter 7 and your Villains Chapter 7, you do have to get to level 70 first before you can actually gain access to those nodes. So it may take a little while to be able to get characters like Hela and also get characters like Thor. Although Thor can also be found in the raid store. You can target farm him there for 1,400 credits, or you can open up raid orbs with hopes to be able to get him. Kind of up to you how you want to try to tackle that one. But I like Thor being a part of the Wave 1 Avenger team. That makes him relevant, but also he's a part of the Hero Asgardian team. So once again, if you're looking at some of these Scourge events to be able to unlock legendaries, for specifically like your Red Hulk Scourge event, where the Hero Asgardians can be used for Nodes 5 and then also Node 10, you can then use Thor there. But because the other Hero Asgardian characters like Mighty Thor, Valkyrie are not farmable, Thor may slot in better for earlier players with the Wave 1 Avengers team, and then being able to use them for Node 5 and Node 10 for some of those higher difficulties. But really, I mean, Thor's amazing, but everything that you like about Thor really comes from his passive ability, where he's able to get these charges. If he gets up to a maximum of 5, when an enemy attacks Asgardian or Wave 1 Avenger allies, he gains these charges. Once he gets a max charge, he's attacking all enemies for 260% damage. Yeah, that's what you like Thor for. But I like his stun too with his ultimate ability. I wish it stunned more targets at a guaranteed rate. If you T4'd it, like apply stun to the primary target and then 100% chance to stun additional targets, would be nice if they did that. But also Thor does a good amount of damage too, and being a part of that Wave 1 Avengers team, I think you're going to get a good amount of value from him there as well. All right, next on this list is another Wave 1 Avenger character. So we won't talk anymore about Wave 1 Avenger specific list, but we will talk about individual Iron Man and his sort of abilities here. Now, let's talk about first where you can get this character. He's the first legendary character that's on this list. He is very easy to get. He's a permanent legendary character. You can use 3 shield. Did I say that right? You can use 3 shield characters at 3 stars in order to be able to unlock Iron Man here. So very easy to get and pretty early on too. Like some of the shield characters that you can use also include Wave 1 Adventure characters like Hawkeye and Black Widow and Captain America. So keep that in mind too when you're looking for characters that you can use to farm them, or you could just use minions because you probably just get random minion shards for funsies. But yeah, I love Iron Man. Where he is going to be better is a part of the Bionic Avengers team. That is a raid team, but that is more of a Doom raid team. Although if you do get all the characters, you can still use them in like your Ultimates raids because they're built for raids. So they're gonna do well there. Also, for your Archangel Death Scourge event to be able to unlock Archangel, you can also use Iron Man and the Bionic Avengers as well for your specific notes 5 and note 10 if you can do those higher difficulties too. But yeah, that's what he's going to be better on that team, but he's still going to be able to function with those Wave 1 Avengers. His ultimate insane amount of damage, 700% damage, and then his special ability, love it, probably my favorite attack that he does, where he attacks all enemies for 300% damage, and then he's prolonging negative effects by 1 on each target. I like that ability. It's also unavoidable too, so I think it's pretty good. So yeah, definitely Iron Man is on this list for me for sure. All right, next on this list is Shuri, who I like a lot, but I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like I used to talk about her. You know what? Let's move on. All right, listen. I love Shuri. I think she's a good character. Another legendary character that is on this list. She's a permanent legendary character as well. But once again, fairly easy to get. Sinister 6 characters you can use to unlock her, or you can use any character that has the Spider-Verse tag, which also includes Sinister 6 characters as well. There's a lot of Spider-Verse characters that are in the game. Now there's even Mr. Negative, who you can get every single day, right? So I think he has a Spider-Verse tag. Fact check me if I am wrong, but love Shuri, man. She has some pretty important tags to pay attention to as well. She has the Wakandan tag, which is important because the Wakandans can be used to do Chaos Theory, which is a flash event, so you can get those promo credits. You also have there's a Scourge event that you can use the Wakandans for. There's also Cosmic Crucible that you can use the Wakandans for as well. There's also the Gamma Raids that you can use the Wakandans for too. So there's a lot of value that you can get out of this Wakandan team. So you could probably put some of these other Wakandans on this list too, like Black Panther, Okoye, Killmonger, M'Baku, but we're talking about the top ones, right? The top 10 free-to-play characters. So therefore, Shuri is what we're going to talk about. Now, love her kit. Special is kind of one of the main reasons. Her special gives you defense up to everybody for 2 turns. Everybody gets defense up. And then also she can generate ability energy for 2 random allies. But of course, she'll generate more ability energy for 4 random Wakandan allies that are there as well. She also provides some pretty solid healing, 20% healing to the most injured ally, and then she can repeat this healing 4 additional times. She has a pretty good health pool, so you're going to get some pretty good heals from her as well. Her basic does a heal block. Do not ever T4 this ever in your life. There's no reason for you to ever T4 it. This is a time where I had to do Dark Dimension 3. Trust me, guys, Dark Dimension 3 will not be as bad when you get to it as what it was when we did it, so you'll be okay where that's concerned. All right, but yeah, definitely Shuri's on this list. The War Dog team too, by the way, is a pretty good war offense team that can be used as well for some war content if you choose to go that direction. Although Black Panther 1mm and Nakia are not farmable. All right, next is Captain America. I love his rework. Oh my goodness, man, I'm telling you. All right, so first, where can we find Captain America? Also, yes, he has a Wave 1 Avenger tag. He's a Wave 1 Avenger. You tired of me saying that by now? No, seriously. All right, let's go over here. Where can you find Cap? You can find Cap in the Nexus 1 tree, as we Jamaicans would say. You can find Cap in the Nexus 1-3 campaign, which is pretty earlier on, where you can get Captain America here. But his rework, his kit is just so like good now. I love it. Like, it's so beneficial to every character that he's with, right? Unspawn, apply to deflect the self and all allies. Wow, that's helpful. Ultimate ability here, low cooldown, by the way. 280% damage, clear 3 positive effects on the primary target, but then chain to additional 2 to 3 additional targets, and then clear 3 positive effects from them as well. Then special. Hey, by the way, let's gain taunt, so protect your other characters, apply defense up for 2 turns, and an immunity to self and all allies. And then, oh, by the way, grant 1 ability energy to 1 to 2 Avenger allies, but then also, he's not selfish. Let's grant 1 ability energy to 1 to 2 random allies as well. Listen, I love Captain America. I think he's a great plug and play character. Now, he's going to be better with the Rebirth team. Absolutely going to be better with the Rebirth team. The Rebirth team is a new raid team here that you can use in Marvel Strike Force that consists of Winter Soldier, Agent Venom, Captain Carter, and US Agent. However, those characters are not farmable other than Winter Soldier, right? So therefore, I would not kind of bank on that early, but once you can get those characters, that definitely would be good. But outside of that, Captain America, I think, is probably one of the better tanks in the game. I think for like early arena stuff, he might actually be good. Global, once again, there's a bunch of different areas. I think he's a good Dark Dimension character. As you can see, I have brought him to Dark Dimension 5 way after I've done it. Oh God, that was terrible English. But you get what I'm saying. Way after I've already completed the first time, I brought in Captain America for like some additional testing, and he did really well with some team comps that I tried out here. I'm gonna stop. I love Captain America. Definitely one of the top 10 free-to-play characters. All right, next on this list, we're gonna talk about Squirrel Girl, baby. I love Squirrel Girl. She's amazing. She thinks she's very valuable, mainly because of this, and this is probably the only thing I'll talk about here in her kit. My goodness. Somebody should have said Goofy first. Where do we find her? All right, so you can find her in the Nexus 4-3 campaign, which will take you a little time to be able to get there, but I think once you get there, you'll kind of be able to rifle through it. But yeah, Squirrel Girl, I like her a lot. Her special ability does great things. Heal all allies for additional 15% max health. Clear all negative effects. Whoo, we needed that cleanse, right? To be able to clear all negative effects. I think that's great. Her ultimate can apply offense down to all enemies. Her special also applies offense down as well. Oh, it's a 50% chance for it to do it, but she can apply offense down as well. She has pretty good health pool, so therefore that healing that she does with her special ability is going to be pretty good. Now, Squirrel Girl, alongside the other Young Avenger characters, are very good in my opinion. I think they're one of the more versatile teams outside of their game mode, which is war defense. That won't really matter to you right now, but you can use the Young Avenger team for a Scourge event, which is really important. So the Rogue aim and Scourge event to be able to unlock her if you want to do higher difficulties for Node 5 and then Node 10. But then you can also use them in a bunch of other different Scourge events too. Like I think there's like each Scourge event, I think you can use them at least once, right? And at some point, a juncture in sort of like your run. So ton of value that you can get from this team. They're good in Cosmic Crucible. They're good in Alliance. They're good in Alliance War. We talked about it already. Tower. But Squirrel Girl individually is a very good plug and play character. City Tag too. So character that you can use for Dark Dimension 3 city section, DD4, DD5 city section as well. And if they ever come up with DD6, if there's a city section, she's probably going to be a recommendation for that too. All right. Tired. All right, next on this list, we're gonna talk about Magneto, right? Magneto, definitely a good character. Another legendary character here. I'm glad they fixed this thing where like he looked like he was blinding people with this ball. I'm happy about that. All right, but yeah, legendary character, permanent legendary character. You can use X-Men characters to be able to unlock him, or use Brotherhood characters to unlock him as well. He just recently got reworked too. He's a part of the Dead Sea team. The Dead Sea team is a raid team. SC team is also a team as well that you will need to be able to unlock Apocalypse. So get using him now, investing into him earlier on is going to yield you long-term dividends, right? That's kind of one of the things that we use as a criteria on this list too as well. But I've always loved this kit. I think it's always been good. He just lacks stats for like forever. But now that he has boosted stats, I think he's amazing. Ultimate ability, AoE blind, pulling characters together to unavoidable attack, can't be counterattacked here. Special ability can clear positive effects, apply disrupted and slow, and raids, you're going to get an ability block from it. Basic ability in raids, once he has 3 or more Dead Sea allies, he can prolong the negative effects, but then does some additional damage, piercing damage as well. I think he's a solid character here. Some good value. I think if it's just for the turn 1 alone, I would probably plug. By the way, I plug and play Magneto a lot in Cosmic Crucible. So yeah, I mean, a ton of value that you can get from a character like this. He's good in raids. I think yeah, I used him in Alliance War before he got his rework. It still provided some value there too as well. Like I said, he just lacks stats. Now he has the stats. I think he's a good character to use there. May also be a recommendation for your legendary sections for some of the Dark Dimension content too. So definitely, I would say that he's worthy of being on this list. All right, next and last character that we're going to talk about. This one is kind of controversial because I kind of wanted to take him off this list, but the only reason why I left him on this list is for one reason, and that's the only reason we're going to talk about here. But first, where can you find him? You can find Baron Zemo in the raid store. That's where you can kind of target farm and get Baron Zemo there. But the reason why I have him on this list is because once you get to level 70, there's very slim and limited options that you have available to you to be able to get through that Villains Chapter 7, 1, 7, 2, 7, 3 campaign. So therefore, I'm like, all right, you need Hydra, AIM, or Sinister Six. Baron Zemo provides a lot of good value there. But additionally, on top of that too, he's still decently good as a plug and play character. I plug and play a lot with Zemo in, let's say, Cosmic Crucible, because that turn 1 blow up and clear all positive effects and then apply ability block is really good with the ultimate, right? Ultimate and passive triggering, and then of course his ultimate. Some of his attacks are unavoidable. So I still think that there's still a decent amount of value, but we can probably talk about some other characters that you may think provide some better value there. So let's grab a sip of water. Let's talk about some honorable mentions, right? Like, who can we mention here? There's some other characters to think about. I think we could have easily talked about maybe like Sharon Carter, you know, who's still using raids right now. We could have probably also talked about, like you said, Black Panther. There's also Kingpin. I like Kingpin. I think he's kind of getting on the rise now. It's probably being one of the honorable mentions for plug and play characters here. But I've talked a lot, guys. I'm going to stop now. I'm going to let you guys let me know who are some other honorable mentions that you probably would have added to this list here. I hope you like this video. I hope if whether or not you agree with me or not, it was at least slightly entertaining. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit the like button, hit the notification bell so that you know when the videos will go live. Check out the links that are down below in the description, guys. Follow me on social media. Check out the Patreon, all that stuff, guys. Until next time, y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe.